Sometimes in the late summer it's beautiful out, but it's getting a little cooler. Not as 90 degrees in the shade as it is back, say, at the beginning of the summer or midsummer. And sometimes you just feel like baking something on a cooler day like that. Maybe not the heaviest baking day as you will in the fall and the upcoming holidays, but you can bake something nonetheless. And today we're going to be making Amish Friendship Bread. That's one of these starter kits that we have here. I don't know how many of you have seen it. It's been quite the trend. It's quite the trendy bread. And my daughter Katarina is going to be making, she just loves camera. She's going to be quite the cook this summer. She has become quite the cook this summer. And she's going to be making some along with me today on Migueltio North Carolina Latino. And this is a salute to those Amish kids up in St. Lawrence County, up in northern New York, that made the national news for being so brave for going to the neighbor and getting themselves out of being abducted. And it was a sad story. We're going to make Amish Friendship Bread today, remembering them, giving praise that they were safe and everything for all that they did on their own selves to get themselves out, and all the neighbors up there in those towns that helped them get out. And what Katie is doing is adding in the starter kit. You get the starter kit basically from friends. That's where it comes from. And they are recipes to make the starter kit. And they have to do it's a 10-day process. You basically have the dough, and then you follow these directions. You pat it down, and then the next day you pat it down. And then there's one of the days where you add things to it, and then you let it sit and you pat it down. And this is the 10th day. And this is where you begin to make the bread itself. And what Katie is doing is adding 1 cup of flour to the mix.
1.5.
1.5 cups of flour. I'm like reading this thing and it's like, wait a minute, hold on. So it's 1.5 cups of flour. She knows what she's doing, that's for sure. Putting it in. She took home and careers this past year and really enjoyed it. And she's going to be taking it again this year. They offer it 6th grade and 7th grade at Adirondack. So she's really got going as far as using flour, using sugar, measuring and all that there. Now I thought making this Amish Friendship Bread today would be an awesome summer episode here. And now she's adding some sugar. How much sugar are you putting in there, kiddo?
1.5.
1.5 cups of sugar. It is a sweet bread. It's not the kind to sit down with a spaghetti dinner and, have the Italian bread and butter and whatever. It's not the kind of dipping bread with the oil and all that there. Okay? It's the kind you have for breakfast. That's the best way to sum it up. Or maybe a snack midday with some tea or coffee. 1.5 cups of sugar in there. Now she's putting in some milk, 1 1/3 cups to be exact. Getting that measured. You learned well from Mrs. Tannery, didn't you, about measuring things?
Yeah, do I just fill it?
You got it, yeah, that's a whole cup measure. You go right up to the top. Yeah, use the other one first. You got it. She had Miss Tannery at Adirondack Middle School and learned a great deal about measuring and what needs exact measure, what sometimes doesn't, what can you just stuff more in. So she's really become quite the baker this summer in doing different things. Getting that 3rd cup. Yeah, it's great to do milk over the sink sometimes so you don't spill it all over creation, especially small consistencies, when you have a brand new bottle. And now she's going to stir this concoction together of the milk, the sugar, the flour, and the starter bunch. Use a large bowl because it makes pretty good sized batter. And there you can see she's got a nice mixed batter in there. You want it to be almost like cake batter when you do this.
Okay, now try to get the 4.
Alright, she's getting 4 bags. Because the neat thing about making an actual loaf of this bread is you put aside some more to give to other friends and to make again for yourself. So she's checking the dates here because it's got to be another 10-day process. So she's writing down the dates of when to do things for this bread. Because if you give it to some friends so they can start their own, then they'll need to know when they need to start things and when they need to get to that 10th day. We've given it to another number of friends over time. Like I say, it's quite the thing. If you've never tried it before, good thing to do among friends. Alright, so basically I'm going to help hold one of the bags, and she's going to fill the bags with these different portions of batter. How much batter we put in each bag?
A cup.
A cup of batter in each bag. So just set aside 1 cup of each to make another round with, and to give to friends so they can make some. And make sure you give your friends the recipe. That would really stick. You gave them this thing, they had no idea what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Rinse my hand off. Got a little on there. Dry it off. Another bag. There we go. Beautiful. Sometimes it's good to have a guest host. You know, like Rachel Ray always has those guests, and you got all those people on the chew and everything. That's an awesome show. You've never seen it. And so is Rachel Ray. You've seen me do her recipes on this show. There we go. Another cup of batter. Ready to go. Now what do we got to do, kiddo?
We have to do this whole part.
Alright, we got to put in some more to our own batch of bread. So the first part that we did is just to get the different batches ready. So now we're going to make our actual loaves. And what we're adding here to what we did earlier, as far as in the bowl, 3 eggs, a cup of oil, half a cup more milk, 1 cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, half teaspoon of baking soda. They don't call it baking pop in Western New York. That's a joke anyway. A half teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of flour, and 2 boxes of any flavor instant pudding you want. And today we're doing French vanilla. We tried banana last week. That worked out pretty good. We've tried different ones over the weeks. One thing I'm going to try sometime, and I get a chance to be the one to go to the store to get this, is coconut, tembleque kind of thing. Haven't made a tembleque Amish Friendship Bread yet, but that's my goal. Anyways, so we're getting these ingredients into the bowl because what we added earlier goes into the distribution for the other breads to be made later. This is what's going to make our bread here today. She's putting that oil into the cup. Of course, olive oil, you know how nutritious that is based on the oils, as oils go. Good for you, better for you. Putting that in. She's had good practice with this bread over the summer. Now we're on to the ½ cup of milk. Smart kid, unlike her father, does it over the sink. Right in there. Beautiful. Getting ready for the cup of sugar. Does her dishes while she's doing it. Pushes out the cup of sugar so that with a cup that had liquid stuff in it so she gets the sugar out. It's like the Carol Burnett show. We're cracking up on the scene here. Anyways, that's okay. I'm Harvey Korman, I guess. She's Vicki Lawrence. Get the sugar in there. There we go. Cup of sugar in the bowl. Anyways, now ½ teaspoon of vanilla. Get a little break from the cups. Here we come with ½ teaspoon of vanilla. And now we're going on to the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. There we go. Got the teaspoon, got the cinnamon. Putting that stuff in. Beautiful. And of course, for everybody out there, some of you gone back to school, soon to go back to school up here in New York. Kids are getting ready for home and careers class or home ec or what do they call it if you've got kids in middle school and or high school if they're going on to go into food service, working just like Katie is here on making things. So if your son or daughter is in home and careers this year, have them make stuff at home for you. Use their skills. Now we're on a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. And if you're high school students or in vocational school for cooking or food service, have them treat you to a dinner like you'd never imagined. You know, I mean, you don't have to make them do it, but say, hey, you want to make dinner sometime? We'd love it. We're getting back into the school season here soon. There we go. Got the half teaspoon. Now we got the teaspoon. That's right. Tap the side of that baby. Beautiful. Now we are on to the baking soda. Half teaspoon of baking soda. Box right there. It's amazing what you can use baking soda for. Cooking, keeping your refrigerator fresh and everything. As well as people, I think, still use it to brush teeth, but I don't know if it's really as common as it was back in the 50s and 60s before fluoride toothpaste became the big deal. Alright, now we're on to half teaspoon of salt. Close in those containers. Beautiful. I think that's there we go. Got that salt open. Half teaspoon of salt. Brand new salting. There you go. Beautiful. And then 2 cups of flour. Back to the flour. Yeah, you got 2 cups of flour, so she's doing it by half. So there goes half. Gonna get another half. Excellent. Okay, we have to get another bag of flour out. Except, I think there's enough for one more half in there. Yep, there was one more half in there. So we're gonna open another bag to get the other half of the brand new bag of flour. Alright, got one more half coming up. There you go. Take it right over. Beautiful. Beautiful. And the last half for 2 cups of flour. And as we're getting close, we're going to preheat the oven. Not to the usual 350, but the 325. What do you know? 325.
Where's this?
Need some non-stick cooking spray, and of course these awesome earthen baking pans, bread loaf pans by Pampered Chef. Just really cook the bread, bake it evenly. Better than any metal that I've ever used. My wife loves them, kids love them. They make the bread really evenly done. None of that half done on this side, burned on the other kind of stuff. It doesn't always happen with metal, but these, if you can get them from Pampered Chef, your local Pampered Chef dealer, are awesome. There's some awesome Pampered Chef people around here, like Lisa Kornmeyer and Sheila Harris, that really do well selling these beautiful pieces of bakeware. Now we're adding the 2 containers of pudding, 2 small boxes. I don't know if you could try this with 1 large box. Now they have the large boxes of pudding. Best safe, get the 2 small boxes, because I don't know if it's the exact same measurement or not. Putting that in among things. And you can use Jell-O pudding, you can use generic, doesn't matter, as long as it's instant. Don't get the stuff that's got to be cooked, or else I couldn't tell you how that's going to come out. But the instant pudding will make it the best. I honestly don't know if you use the other kind of pudding, if it would come out the right way. And now she's mixing. Beautiful. Look at that batter. It's going to be nice and smooth, just like the earlier batter was for the bags. Just mix it in really well. What was the favorite thing that you made in Miss Tannery's class this year?
Apple crisp.
Yeah, she made an awesome apple crisp. And there was one thing you brought a little bit of home with. I can't remember what it was. So many months. You had it only like way back in the fall last year. What was that you brought home? It was something, I forget what.
It was a recipe.
Oh, okay, that's right. It wasn't the actual made item. It was a recipe for us to try sometime. Now, is it first semester? You'll have it a whole semester this year. Is it first semester or second semester that you'll have Home and Careers?
First.
First semester. You're going to be right in there, right at the beginning of school, all the way through Christmas until January, having Home and Careers. So I'm sure you'll be making some awesome stuff. Good time to get into the baking business, fall and early winter, you know. So what a great practice this is, if I should say so myself. Look at how smooth and awesome that is coming along. You can see the thickness. Beautiful job. And now she's putting one half of it into one pan. Spreading it even, getting it down in. There we go. Now we're putting in some into the other pan. Excellent. And that spatula, that's another Pampered Chef masterpiece. Great size, great texture. Doesn't fall apart like some of those El Cheapos you get at the dollar store or whatever. And it's great for spreading batter, as well as getting out of the bowl. You can really move that spatula around and get all that stuff stuck on the side out of the bowl. Beautiful. Spread it evenly and everything. There she goes. She's going right around the bowl and getting it off the walls of the bowl. Maybe one more big swoop. Beautiful. And spread that right in there. Excellent. Like I said, if you can, see your local Pampered Chef dealer and get some of this stuff, because it really makes baking easier and more accurate. I mean, there's good pans. You know, Wilton's got some awesome stuff in the stores out there. If you go to one of those baking/hobby stores, you see the Wilton products. They're good too, but nothing beats Pampered Chef. Alrighty, well, we just heard the little bell that the oven is preheated, so we are going to put them in. 325 for what, an hour? Am I right? Yes, we have confirmed that. That is for an hour. So get your mitts on. Put them in the oven. It's awesome baking stones. Beautiful. 1 hour, and we will have friendship bread. All right, and the exciting conclusion here. It's coming out of the oven. Look at that, nice and brown and beautiful. This, my friends, is friendship bread. We got the bread. We got the other kits ready to go for ourselves and for friends who would like to do their own starter. I wish I knew how, like, you could start your own starter. I don't know the recipe for that. I know you can buy a lot of these starter kits in bake shops, at farmers markets, all kinds of places that are selling the same kind of things that are already made, are selling things that, so you can make them at home. In this time where everybody's doing a lot more things by themselves, doing their own gardens, things like that, farmers markets are just a buzz with things like this to help you get going in your own home. And of course, God bless the whole Amish community up here in northern New York and everywhere for the safety of those kids. It's wonderful that they were able to be safe. What a great day to make Amish Friendship Bread, to spread friendship around. And of course, a great shout out to my friends down at Cuts and Scratches Barbershop and Store in Utica. They have all your hair services and everything that a guy could want. And plus they have a bling bling shop over there on Mohawk Street. They have two locations for the barbershop, Whitesboro Street and Mohawk Street, which is called Cuts and Scratches East. And then the shop is just a little further down Mohawk Street where you can get cool Represent t-shirts like this. Their slogan is motivating constantly. We are motivating constantly, folks, whether it be your children, whether it be your spouse, whether it be your boy or girlfriend, your novia, or whether it be yourself. Keep motivated. Live your life as best you can in these days. And spread some friendship bread. Amish Friendship Bread. And you can use any kind of pudding you want. This is vanilla. Here on Migueltio and North Country Latino. And don't go for Templica by Goya because that's long cooked, but you can get cream of coconut pudding by Jello Pudding. I've seen it.
Wow.
Beautiful. So till next time, remember the New York State Fair is coming up. A lot of cool stuff going on. Pitbull next Saturday night. And of course we're going to the Journey concert. Hasta la vista. Hasta luego. Bye, Katie.